food had not faded in its ability to comfort me as I stumbled through adolescence. If anything, I loved it more and more each year that passed. Double cheeseburgers were now the name of the game, providing me with the steadiness and solace I coveted. They were always there, always the same. Of course, there was a darker side to this relationship. Perhaps not surprisingly, the more of them I ate, the more of them I craved. They satisfied me until they didn't. They assuaged my angst until the absence of them added to that angst. Such is the definition of an addictive relationship. Not that I thought of it that way then. The junk food industry is reliant on creating food that has the exact right ratio of sweet and salty and squishy to just go down your gullet at the exact right speed. And so it wasn't until I was 30 and I was told I was on my way to heart disease that I decided that I needed to take control of my own life and be kind not only to the animals who I was advocating for, but the animal that I was myself. So at that point, I started to juice fast, and while I was juice fasting, I became interested in eating from a healthier perspective, eating more whole foods, less processed foods, less junk foods, and everything shifted. So for the first time, it was about self-care and not about weight loss, and I became a holistic, healthy person. I wound up losing nearly 100 pounds. 100 pounds. And I learned so many ways that I had been betraying myself, that I had been suppressing or closeting my own truths. And that came out because for the first time in my life, I had ended this lifelong toxic addiction that I had had with food. And I knew that I was somehow in the middle of a vicious cycle of eating crappy food and then feeling crappy about my body. Still, my love was too strong to resist. By the time I got a car, an enchanting 1986 Toyota Camry that I called Henry, which only accelerated barely if you stepped full force on the gas pedal, there was no longer an obstacle between me and eating a second or sometimes third dinner. The fact that I was petrified of driving on highways was not a problem. Just down the road was a strip mall with everything I could ever need. A grocery store, a Chinese place, a pizza joint, a brand new shiny Taco Bell, and of course, my first and still greatest love, Burger King. A tub of chocolate icing from Food Town was the perfect appetizer to a dinner of 2 cheeseburgers, extra large fries, and a vanilla milkshake. The blessed drive-thru was like icing on the cake, or the pie, as it were, since the apple pie at Burger King was always an option to go with the shake. I would sit in the hidden part of the parking lot, blasting my Patti LuPone cassette and eating dinner at record speed. It was how I imagined heaven. I scoffed to myself when I thought of those kids who, like me, wanted a buzz but wasted their money and their brain cells on drugs when they could have this much better, cheaper, legal, and more functional high. Who needed marijuana when you could have the perfect orgasmic combination of fatty, sweet, and salty that made French fries with ketchup so succulent?
Donna, I know you already started reading this book. What do you think?
It's terrific. We have a lot of similarities from when we were younger. So
Like what?
yeah, I had my weight issues, my food issues. I love food, and so I struggled with my weight a lot. So I'm very, very inspired by your story. And I also find that since I've gone vegan, that I've been able to stay more stable in my size.
Well, also, it becomes about more than just what you're eating. It's about a whole, eating food is the most personal political act there is, I think. I sipped my shake, and in my head, I had already escaped to New York City, where I knew I would live one day, though it wasn't entirely sure whether I wanted to be there so that I could achieve anonymity or fame. As I took a break from my burger and dug deeper into my tub of icing, my hopes and fears arm wrestled in my head, both certain they were destined to win. I will be incredibly famous. I will be amazingly fat. I will star on Broadway. I will be ugly. I will be rich. I will be a failure. I will be legendary. I will be forgotten. I will be loved. I will be loathed. I found that the faster I ate, the more rapidly my desires pushed my fears away, and the faster the image of Margaret and my other bullying classmates faded. So I picked up the pace and sprinted to the finish, licking my fingers to make sure no morsel would go undigested. I ate until I didn't remember that I was a reject, or at least until I didn't care. My stomach and heart swelled with satisfaction, and I felt full of life. The irony, of course, is that it was death I was full of, but I didn't see it that way for years. At the time, I was simply awaiting the cosmic high I received from the buttery bun, the smoky patty, the smooth shake that tingled as it slid down my throat into my soul and grounded me at my foundation.